engaging the next generation of leaders. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is Claire Robertson-Kraft. She is the board chair for Young Involved Philadelphia. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the background of this organization. It was formed in the year 2000 as a way to bring young professionals together to really leverage your voice. Talk to us a little bit about the organization and how it serves as a springboard for young people's careers and as a way to bring young professionals together.
Great. So as you mentioned, the organization was founded in 2000 by two recent college graduates. And I was in college at the time, so I was their first intern in 2003. I was a junior at Penn. And the goal behind the organization was really to think about how we could attract more talent to Philadelphia, but how we could really retain talent. So as a senior, most of my friends left Philadelphia, went to New York, went to DC, as many other college graduates do. And the idea was, how could we keep more young Philadelphians in the city, committed to the city? And the organization was founded with that vision in mind, that it would become the next, Philadelphia would become the next generation of young leaders and the place that people really felt like they could go. And the mission of the organization has been to accomplish that by increasing civic engagement and building relationships among young Philadelphians. So we think that if people are really engaged in important issues in the city and that they're really connected with each other or with organizations that are doing important work, that they're more likely to commit to staying here over the long term.
So if that's the goal, let's talk a little bit about how that actually works. Do you engage with nonprofit organizations? You're a nonprofit organization yourself, but do you engage with other nonprofit organizations to really work to ensure that people have roots here, that they want to stay here after college?
We do. So we have three main strategies that we use to achieve that mission. The first is engaging people in important issues. So we're not an issue-based organization. We don't cover education or arts or healthcare. We cover all issues. And so we have a sort of a broad reach in that sense of working with a variety of different organizations. The second thing that we do is we connect with other young organizations in the city. So one of the things that we've noticed over the past couple of years in Philadelphia is that the problem is no longer that there's a lack of civic engagement. The problem is actually that there's so much civic engagement that the effort is often fragmented. So there are groups that are working in various pockets in the city and their efforts are isolated and not often coordinated. So we try to serve as a coordinating organization for all of the various young friends groups. So we have partnerships with over 40 young friends groups in the city. We bring them together, leaders from those groups together as part of a quarterly leadership breakfast that we do to really highlight the work and help people find ways to better collaborate together. And then the final piece of what we do is really try to represent the young demographic to people in positions of leadership. So bringing to them the ideas that young people are generating and making sure that those ideas are then represented in the decisions that are made.
And you do this through ongoing conversations, and you have a State of Young Philadelphia where you bring people together to hear their thoughts, hear their opinions on a wide variety of topics, and this culminates in a final showcase held on October 14th. Talk to us a little bit about how you're working to bring people together and then what you then do with all of these different thoughts and ideas.
Great. So as I mentioned, one of the things that we realized was that we were not the only people doing programming for young professionals. There's so many young friends groups in the city. So the first thing that we did in putting together the State of Young Philly series, which runs from October 3rd through October 14th, is to identify all of the other young groups in the city that were doing really important work. And so we have over 40 partnering organizations that can be found on our website for our organizations for State of Young Philly that are working with us to put together this final series. So it's not Young Involved Philadelphia alone. All of these groups are contributing to making the series happen. And then the outcome of this series is that we're going to be collecting data at each one of the nights. So there's a community engagement night, an education night, a creative economy night, and a planning and sustainability night. And then we're going to put together an agenda for the State of Young Philly, what young Philadelphians think should be the key issues that are addressed in each one of these core areas. And as you mentioned, on Friday, October 14th at our showcase, we'll talk a bit more about what the outcomes we found are and how people can continue to stay engaged.
Thanks so much for being with us, and we can find out more information on your website. Thanks, Claire.
Thanks.
We've been talking with Claire Robertson-Kraft. I'm Jill Horner.